Hello, and welcome to Boss Talks, a weekly podcast where we chat with the bosses of the multifamily industry. Who are these bosses? They might be a manager of many, a leader with no title, or just passionate about what they do. Join our host, Evan Happel, Director of Marketing at Community Boss, as he talks with this week's guest.
We are here for Boss Talks, episode 50. Big milestone, big 5-0. I have a special MC in the house, Aishia Shepard. She is going to introduce our guest today for this special milestone of 50. So Aishia, take it away.
So one, I want to thank you all for coming to Boss Talks 50. This is amazing. This is how we do on Boss Talks. I'm going to introduce the one, the only, Crystal Dukes. She's an educator. She's an innovator. She's constantly striving to do her best. I don't know if she let Evan know this, but she is a Diversity Leadership Program Capstone Award winner. She's on a national committee, and also she is just an amazing person to know and see and be around. I can't think of anyone better to do the 50th episode of Boss Talks because she is the quintessential boss. I did not have time to get my music right, but in your head play 50 Cent, This Is How We Do, or in the club, however you feel it. Go Crystal. You guys get it. And now I'm going to log off. Go Crystal.
I love it. Thank you. Now I'm flustered. Thanks for that. Oh my gosh. And y'all, she's lying about some of that stuff. She just do some stuff in there. Oh, that's awesome. Man, I have the best friends.
Yeah.
I have the best friend. Oh, that was nice.
That was
great.
Way
Thank
better
you,
than I
Aishia.
did. So I'm glad she jumped on.
Yeah, that was awesome. Thank you for letting her get on.
Man, maybe I need somebody to hype it up every show. There we go.
Look, I have tons of people. Dana says she's not ready, but she's lying.
Okay.
She stays
All right.
ready.
Yeah.
And I have Quasia. Oh my, I got a ton of them for you. So you let me know when you need a hype woman. I got
All right.
you.
Okay, good. Yeah, sometimes I need a little help with the energy. I'm this guy over here. Over the course of these 50 episodes, I've tried my best to learn to harness that energy, because I'll tell you, I don't even know if I should say this, but go back and watch those first episodes. It's a different energy coming from Evan. I had to speed up my video because it was like, Evan, it's okay. You can talk faster. It's okay.
You got to learn. It's just a part of it. You got to put it into practice. But I think that's how it is with all things in life. You just got to get into it.
No, it's all good. It's all good. When you stare at yourself 50 episodes straight in edit, you become very self-critical. It's all good.
We do that anyways.
Yeah. But anyways, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah.
Thank you, Aishia, again for introducing her. And as we all know, I start off the show with a few questions. First question, when it comes to building community, how do you go about that in your professional and or personal life?
I'm going to say, Evan, that for me, when you talk about building community, you have to create a space where people can come together to create that community. And I think that in multifamily, we have a very unique profession where we are required to build community, especially at the site level. Everybody plays a role in that. I know when I was on site, it was definitely about building the community through resident events, through just the rapport that you're building with the people that you're seeing every day. This is their home, making it something that they're proud of, making it a place that they want to bring others in to that community. So really giving them the space. And even now with what I do at a corporate level around DE&I, it's the same thing, creating the spaces for people to come be themselves and just connect with others. So really just creating the space. There's no other way to build community without creating a space for it. So that's what I do. And even in my personal life with my friends, I am the ultimate trip planner. I love to get together, to have a good time. It's like a whole thing. Some of my friends are back home. When we did do our Zoom calls, we had our mugs, we had with our names on it. We had to set the mood, and it was just about creating an environment where you can be yourself. And that's all a part of creating that community. So yeah, definitely creating the space.
Nice. Yeah, no, thanks for sharing that. And
Yeah.
you guys have a great community that has been fostered over the last few years. Has it even been a few years?
It hasn't. So this actually, so you're talking about Melanin and Multifamily. And this was actually, for those of you who don't know, you should know, but if you don't know, Melanin and Multifamily, it was founded by Monica Frazier. And it really is a collective of Black women who are in this industry. And it is such a strong community. Another way I think that you build community is when you create that space, making people feel comfortable in it, inviting people in. And I think that Monica has done an amazing job with creating that space. As you can see, there's so much support for anyone in that space. You just called Aishia up out of the blue, and she did it for me, coming up and being there for me, supporting me. You can see in the comments, you have Dana. We have so many, Patrice is in there. I can name everybody who's here, but it it means something when you can be your whole self around someone, and there are people who embrace you and understand what you go through, what we go through within this industry, and what I go through as a Black woman within this industry, and honestly within corporate America, within just life. It feels really good to have that, and I've definitely found that in Melanin and Multifamily, and I hope that everyone who's a part of it has found that as well.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, thanks
Yeah,
for sharing that.
you
Yeah,
definitely.
I've had a few of y'all on the show that are part of that group, and
Yes.
it's been really great to meet each of you, to meet all of you in person at NAA just a few weeks ago. And
Yes.
so
That was fun.
it's fun to meet, well, people in general in person. That's always good. But it was really fun to meet you guys and do a short
Yeah.
little video there too, pre your show. So
Yes, that was fun. It's always a good time at NAA, but it's just been so much better now.
yeah,
Getting together and being with the girls. It's my husband is always, he was like, "Do you want me to come?" I was speaking. I spoke at NAA this year, and he was like,
uh-huh.
"I really want to come and I'll come hang out with you for the week." And I'm like, "No, you will not. This is for me and my girls." And he's, "What?" But it's always a good time whenever we can get together. But I'm glad that you got a chance to see us all together on
Yeah.
the expo floor too.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. And then next
Yeah.
question, if you were to have somebody over for dinner, what would you make them to make them feel at home and just bring that hospitality?
That's a great question. That is a great question because I do not invite a lot of people over for dinner because it's
Okay.
too much prep.
All right.
And I'm not
Special,
saying I'm a
special, special.
yeah, and
Mm.
I'm not a bad cook, but I do have my specialties. And I'm gonna be honest, the bourbon salmon from Publix is like my go-to because all you do is throw it in the oven, and I never tell anybody where I got it from
You don't need to.
until after, but I never tell anybody where I got it from, how I'm going to be preparing. But I will say that is what I do. I know it's going to taste good, so you want to give them something that is good. I'm from the South, so whenever, like, food is how you say I love you, so I got to make sure that it is good. And whenever anyone comes over, it's, "Are you hungry? Do you want something to eat?" So if I'm planning on inviting someone over and it's special, the food's gonna be great. So I'm gonna say my go-to is the bourbon salmon, mashed potatoes, and the green beans. And these green beans are special. I'm telling you, they're special. So that would be my ultimate dinner for someone
All right.
if they're coming over.
Fantastic. Sounds good. I don't really care where the food comes from. Like half the people that are on the show, they say they're just going to get reservations. So it
Yes.
doesn't matter. It's more about you did it, you were thinking of your guest, and it's then about being together.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
yeah. No big deal.
Yeah.
All right. Last question is, if you were to get that quintessential coffee drink, the thing that what is your go-to if it is coffee? It looks like you have an answer.
Yes.
Okay, here we go.
There's a Starbucks around the corner. I have an answer. It's caramel macchiato, hot,
Okay.
half decaf, with 5 pumps of a caramel in addition to the vanilla, with almond milk.
Wow. That sounds sweet.
It's very sweet, and that's why I get it. And I get it. I can get it half decaf or decaf. I really don't need the caffeine. I just need the sugar, and that is what keeps me going. I'm gonna tell you, was definitely not a coffee drinker up until, I don't know, what, 7, 8 years ago. I was not a coffee drinker. It was the most disgusting thing ever. But my grandmother got sick and she was in Charleston. I lived in Columbia. She was in Charleston in the hospital. And so every day after work, I would drive to Charleston, stay with her, and then drive back home. So after about a few days, I was like, I'm going to wreck. There's no way. So I saw a Starbucks and everybody was talking about it. And I went in and I said, can you just make me the sweetest thing you have? And that's what they made me. And from then on, that's my drink. That's what I've gotten.
Can you just make me the sweetest thing?
That's exactly what, because coffee was so nasty to me. Like I couldn't stand the taste. So I do. And my brother drinks coffee too, and he'll make his own because I'm not paying for Starbucks every day. It's just not happening. And then he just loads it with all this sweetener. And so I think that's just what we do in our family.
Okay. I'm gonna send you Boss Blend Coffee, our very own blend of coffee. Now, it's ground, it's ready to be brewed. Do you have a coffee maker?
No,
Okay.
I don't.
All right.
And let me tell
Well,
you, I'm going to take it and I'm going to put it on my counter and I'm going to admire it, but I'm not going to make that coffee, Evan. I don't know how to make coffee. I don't know how to make it.
You can just regift it. You can just give it to a friend.
Done.
Okay. All right. What's still coming to you? You're also going to get a sweet Manage Like a Boss mug.
I'll take the mug for sure.
All right. Wait, are you repping your bling? Where's the...
Oh my God.
Oh,
Shut it back.
man.
I have it. I have 3. Okay. Doesn't matter because I don't have it on. So don't worry. I'm going to take a picture with it after and I'm going to post it.
Okay.
But I have 3.
Yeah, she stole 3 of them, people.
She did. I didn't steal them. They were given to me. You gave me one.
Okay.
And then I just walked on back to the counter when you weren't looking. And I asked your colleague, I was like, really? Do you really think you can give all these out? And she was like, do you want another one? I said, can I have another 2? Because I have a 3-year-old and she will take it. And then I won't find it when I need it. But really, it's not her fault this time. All 3 of them are in my suitcase.
It's okay. It's okay. Yeah, send that picture later. Yeah, we'll be sure to. So little bit of a plug here. We on our website, I have it under my signature there. It's communityboss.com/boss talks. I have, by episode 50, by last Friday, I finally caught up editing all the podcast episodes. We are right on track now. So after I'm done here today, I'm going to edit it and it's going to be up by end of the week. I promise you.
Okay.
So
I'll hold you to that.
Yeah. And so each of my guests have their own page where their video from YouTube and also podcast edited version is below it. And you can listen to it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, go where you listen, but they will be there. They're all there. So if you've missed previous episodes, you couldn't find the previous episodes, you can now find them. And also your boss, when you do send it to me, your picture of you wearing your boss chain will end up on our communityboss.com/manage like a boss page, where you will be on the wall of bosses with your boss chain. So check that out too, people, because it's amazing. Okay.
Awesome. Thanks.
So done with my plug. Anyways, back to Crystal. So thank you for talking about your go-tos, building community, your coffee of choice, and your meal of choice, the salmon. That does sound delicious. Too bad I don't have a Publix around.
Oh no. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about that.
Up here in the Northwest, we do not have Publix. So it's a bummer, but I guess next time I'm down in the South. Yeah. It's all right. I'll have to go back to Georgia or South Carolina or Florida, anywhere but here.
Yes.
It's all good though. All right, Crystal, let's get right into it. You just highlighted a couple things when it comes to your passions of and areas to really talk about. And obviously they tie into your area of expertise when it comes to the work you do, but also you personally. And that's creating a pathway, helping people see their way to success. So maybe start with your own pathway and how you did that.
So it definitely, so when I started, I was actually I was not trying to get into the business of multifamily Exactly. I was in college and I lived at a place called University Oaks in Columbia, South Carolina. Go Gamecocks. And I lived there and I did not have any money to pay my rent. To school, you're a typical college student, right?
Sure.
And I was like, my friend actually who's on here, Shaquasia, and my other friends, India, who I live with, they were actually saying there's like an opening for an internship at the front office. And it was a graphic design opening. And I design. I love designing. It is my passion. I see Kim said something, but it's my passion. I love designing. I still do it now, even in what I do here. So I went and I applied for it. I was the only person who applied for that internship, but they decided that they weren't going to have it anymore. And just a little backstory, the internship, you got free rent if you were the graphic design intern.
So
They
they put it
decided they
out
didn't
there
want to.
and stole it from you.
No, they just didn't have it anymore. But when I was trying to follow up on my application, I was literally calling like every week. Hey, do you have an update on that? And I was calling so much that when they decided they weren't going to do it anymore, the community manager at the time, who is my mentor and one of my very dear friends, Kathy Felix, I'm not sure if she's on today, but one of my very dear friends was the property manager, and she was my friend at the time. But she was like, do you want a job as a leasing consultant? And I was like, I don't know what that is. I have no idea how to do that. She was just like, you're so persistent. I think that you would get anybody to sign a lease. So I was like, I'll try it. Is it still free rent? I'm in. And she's, yeah, absolutely. So from there, I was off to the races. I was leasing technician in student housing. And then I went on to conventional as an assistant property manager and then as a community manager. And for a very long time, Evan, I just knew that I was going to just go the traditional path at that point. Like my next step was going to be a regional. And then things changed. I then went on to become an operations specialist where pretty much you travel to different properties within your portfolio and then you just help them with whatever they have going on. Most of the time I would step in for the community manager or I'd be training new associates. And then it got to the point where I was just helping with sales and acquisition. So if we were going to get a new property, I would go in, help with the takeover. If we were going to sell a property, I would make sure it was sold. I'd make sure the numbers stayed where they needed to be. It even got to a point where I was working at this property in Alabama. So I live in Columbia, South Carolina, if I haven't said that already. And I was flying into Alabama every single Monday and flying back home every Friday, every single week. And I think I was going every other week when I started, but 6 months in, I started going every single week. And I think we sold the property at eight or 9 months after I started because just any and everything that could happen happened. So I did that. And then finally, I was like, I would like to be a regional manager. I'll do it. There wasn't an opportunity at the time, but someone approached me about being a national trainer. I was already doing that. I was already training everyone. So now, no longer trying to be a regional. Now I'm the national trainer. And from there, Teresa Rose, who is the senior vice president of the company that I'm with now, RealSource Properties, actually recruited me to be the director of education and training. And I jumped into that, not knowing, not having ever run a department. I jumped into that. And from there, I did that. And then I recently added diversity, equity, and inclusion to that, as it is more than a passion for me. It's really a requirement, I feel, for most companies right now. And it's something that I've embraced and really want to be a part of when it comes to creating that space for associates within my company and even within the different organizations that I am a part of. So all of NAA, to be honest with you. And so that is how I got to where I got. And I never in a million years thought I would be saying I've been in this industry for 18 years.
Yeah.
I heard people saying when I first got in how long they had been in it. And I was like, wow, that's a really long time. And so it's so weird just reading that, but it really is an amazing profession. It has afforded me opportunities that I never even thought about. And I've met some amazing people, been a part of some amazing teams, and I just really can't see myself doing anything else. Yeah.
Great. And it sounds like you've had some great people along the way that encouraged you or just said, hey, you're going to do this because they saw
Absolutely.
things in you, saw whether that's gifting or persistence or whatever it was. So I think that highlights something good that we need to also be people that are that person for other people and be an encourager, make sure we aren't like seeing things and keeping it to ourselves, but making sure we tell people when they're doing a good job or, hey, I really
Absolutely.
see you doing well at this based on
Yes.
how you're based on how you work or you naturally
Mhm.
are. So that's really
Absolutely.
good.
Yeah, it's been awesome for me just having those people in my life. And even now, meeting the girls in Melanin and Multifamily, meeting Aishia, Dana, Monica, just having them support me and push me, because there are things that I don't even see about myself even now that they're like, Crystal, this is for you. You have to do this, or this is amazing. And I'm like, really? I didn't think it's that good. And they're like, no, this is for you. So having that it's been a game changer for me. And you're right. A lot of people don't have that. So it's really
Hmm.
important to get that. And yeah, I've just been very blessed to have these people in my life. But it's made all the difference in my career.
Yeah. Yeah. And no matter how you do it, and hopefully along the way, you have managers that are giving that to you as well. If you're
Hmm.
not having the ability to be a part of another group, but if you're hearing this and you don't have that, you should seek after it. Find
Yep.
people that can be your hype man or whatever. Like that they're going to be honest with you, but also help you be successful when it
Yep.
comes to how you're doing in life and also your
Hmm.
profession. So there are other groups too. Like I recently joined something called Mentor Matchmaker, which
Okay.
was started by Tara. She's out of Georgia. And
Yes.
I think a lot of people know Tara Samuels. She's with
Hmm.
ADT Multifamily now. But if you want to get in on that, jump in. I think a few people on here are doing that. I'm personally a
Hmm.
part of it, but it's not doesn't cost anything. It's just a way to get to know people and get connected with somebody that can be a mentor and help you navigate your job, whether that's on the supplier side, whether that's
Hmm.
on the property management side. I'm personally talking to both sides of the business when it comes to mentorship, so whether
Yeah.
that's mentors or mentees. So anyways,
It looks
find
amazing. I saw it. She
find somebody.
actually reached out. It's pretty awesome to have that go-to space where you can find someone, because there are a lot of people who don't know how to get matched with a mentor. It's not as easy as it's not as easy as it sounds.
Not every company has a like
Mm-mm.
program. They may be just too small for it or whatever it is. They don't have the bandwidth to create something. Yeah, thankfully we have people that get creative and do things on their own. So just like the group you're a part of, that was more
For
organic
sure.
and just saw a need and somebody was like, all right, let's do this. So Monica Frazier stepped in and brought you guys together. So that's
Yes,
awesome.
she did.
So I really appreciate you sharing your journey and your pathway. Is there anything more about your path that you want to highlight when it comes to, yeah, there's people that have done that, but then there's also yourself. What did you do personally also along the way to kind of get yourself to the next level?
That's actually a great question, because it's not just seeing what you want, it's knowing how to get there. And I'll always say, like I said at the beginning, you have to sometimes put yourself in these uncomfortable situations in order to really grow. And even if it was something new to me, there's not much that you can tell me that you ask me if I can do that I'm going to say I can't. I'm in my head, I can do it. I just have to figure out a way to make it happen. So for me, when especially in my current role as director of education training and DE&I strategies, I threw myself into the work. Any and all that there was to learn about this position, I learned it. I was on webinars, I was reading articles, there was not much that I was not doing to figure out this position and really how to be impactful in the position. So not just what you do, but how to continue to help your company move forward. So, really throwing yourself in it, being resourceful. The NAA, and this is actually something that I spoke about at Apartmentalize, but the NAA has some amazing programs that you definitely want to take advantage of. I was a recipient of the Alex Jack U Scholarship when I first started, and it was so important for me to actually get that exposure to first of all NA, but the additional training that came with it. So right now, the scholarship is set up to offer the recipient, and actually I think there's several recipients at this point, but to offer the recipient the opportunity to get their designation. So their CAM, their CALP, their CAMT. So it's set up for that. However, hey Gerard, however, when I went, it was an opportunity to take part in a Dale Carnegie training session, which I don't know if you've ever heard of it, Dale Carnegie, for their sessions, but they are amazing. And they are also very expensive. So it actually afforded me the opportunity to go and be a part of that. And that's something that I didn't even know existed. So when I tell you that I was always looking for what was available to continue to grow into my position. I've always been like that. I'm not really afraid to try anything, but it's very important to me that when I present it, it's on point. So I'm never going to give you less than 100% when I'm doing something. And I definitely think that's something that helps you stand out in this industry, and honestly in any career. You really have to go hard and you have to give it your all. And that's been really important for me. And it's a part of my upbringing, just knowing where I was and what I want for myself and always remembering that. So it's been really important for me. I just being able to adapt to any situation that I'm in. And I know you may go into that a little bit more later, but being able to adapt to the situation that I'm put in has been really important for me. It's weird kind of just talking about myself now, like I'm listening to me talking about myself. You never really do, but really this has been my path. If I want it, I'm going to get it, and I'm going to figure out a way to get it.
Wow.
So that's,
So that training you called out, the Carnegie training,
yeah.
can you explain exactly what that is? Probably a lot of people don't know what
Yeah.
that is and how that's helped you.
So the training that I attended was leading your organization through change and urgency. And for us, it was really important at the time. And just a little bit of backstory about my company. We were a part of a joint venture with another company for a while, and I won't say any names because my company is RealSource Properties, and that's what matters. But we were part of a joint venture with another company. And then when we split, now we have all of these properties, and now we have a management company, a property management company. So everything was urgent. There weren't a lot of people we didn't have a lot of people in certain roles because we were still growing. As you grow, you get more support. We didn't really have any support staff. It was really the executives, department heads leading everything. And then you had everyone who was on site. So it was really important for me to be exposed to that class that we had. In fact, I can tell you that when I took that session, because it was an all day session, and they have tons of different courses. It's definitely something you should look up. And I don't know if you've ever heard of CLASS, which is specific to leasing, but Dale Carnegie is for any career that you're in. It's training for all careers. But I actually from that developed a program, a mentorship program, actually, since we're talking about mentorship program within my company that we still have today. But just really understanding what it takes to lead an organization through change, because you have to remember, this is my first time running a department. I was the national trainer, but I never ran the department. So really helping my company through the change that it was experiencing was tremendous. I will never forget that experience. But being chosen to participate in something like that was honestly just as amazing, to be completely honest with you, for someone seeing in me something that maybe I didn't even see myself. But I digress. I do that often. You gotta keep me in line, Evan. I
You're
will.
good.
But it is amazing training, and definitely look into it. It is pricey, but it is worth it. So definitely look into it.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for sharing. It's always good to know about different trainings and resources that are helpful for people. So
Mhm.
I like to learn new things. That's why I do this, to learn from you and other people.
Yeah.
And now I know about this training, and now it's up to me to do something about that, right? So,
Yes, absolutely. They have a pretty huge list of courses that they offer, and I can't even imagine where it is right now in comparison to when I was there, because that was 7 years ago. I think it was 7 years. Yeah, 2016. So it was 7 years ago that I did that. So yeah,
yeah.
check it out.
Yeah. And I want to highlight, you brought it up earlier. It's in the
Hmm.
comments, like all over the place. Go get it. You wanted to do something. You figured out things that you wanted, or at least you wanted to try. Like, you don't know to, right?
Right.
So you might try something that you thought you really wanted, and then it was like, never mind. But I think it's, if you think you want something, you have to be the one to steer your own ship and go get it, because you can't just
Absolutely.
expect, because let's be honest, and I'm not going to call out your bosses, but in the past, I've had people that have been over me in supervisor roles, and they're not always great. And they don't always prod you or see your potential or ask you what you want. Sometimes you just have to do self discovery and figure things
Yeah.
out on your own.
Yeah, I agree. And I will say you can never let that hold you back from what you want. I have been very fortunate because once I was in multifamily and property management, I really worked for some amazing people, worked with some amazing people, even now that pushed me. But yeah, I'm pretty intense to work with. I will tell you that when I really just want to do my best, I really just want to make an impact. So I am very intense. I give my all. I'm always very prepared. I don't like to not be prepared, but it bothers me. Like, that's a peeve. But in that space, I'm hoping that I can help push others as well be that way. And honestly, the diversity leadership program, here I go again, but the diversity leadership program was also something that I was involved in through NAA, which I met all of these wonderful people who are on the call through, but it was something that I was involved in, and it helped me become more aware of how I worked with other people, not just who I was. And I know who I have a self-awareness, and I will say that is a requirement. You have to accept all of you, like you said, your flaws and all, but being knowledgeable and being aware about that is important. But it helped me get an understanding of how I am to work with other people who are not like me. And there are
Mhm.
not a lot of people who are. We're all different. But like I
Right.
said, it really gave me direction when it comes. And hopefully, from that, I am a better leader for others. But you do always have to continue to push forward. And that self discovery is really important. Whether you want to see what's on the other side or not, you got to try.
Yeah.
You got to go for it. It's really important.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yep. I've tried a lot of jobs, to be honest, and there's some of them I won't do again.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have known that unless I tried it. And you learn from every single job and every
Yes.
experience. So,
Absolutely. Absolutely. I will say that I have tried jobs within multifamily. There's not anything that I haven't liked within this
uh-huh.
industry. But before then, yeah, absolutely. But I will say that I am a part of that generation. So there's the millennials.
Yeah.
And then what's the generation before millennials? Or right after? Yeah, right before. Is
Gen
that
X,
X?
I think.
Or are we X? Is that the middle space? I know there's that
I'm a
middle.
millennial. I'm on the cusp of the two. I'm on the border. I'm an 80
Yes.
I was born in 84. So,
Okay.
I'm what I would call the an elder millennial, like an old
That's
millennial.
That's me. That's me. So I will say that with that is me. So while I am definitely willing to try new things, it's really important for me to have that stability. So in the middle of trying new things and saying this works and I'm good I am good at it and I know what I want and I know where I want to be. So it's like that in the middle. I don't There is this person on Instagram. I don't know his name. Why don't I know his name? As soon as I get off with you and I go to my Instagram stream, he's gonna be right there. But he always does like these different generations reacting to the same situation. And I think it's the Generation X. Like, I'm cautious, but I'm not. So I don't know if that's how you are, because I was born in 83. So I'm like an elder millennial. So I do find that, but it doesn't mean that you can't continue to try new things, but also have stability. And finding that balance is going to be really important. It has been for me. And we're talking about me.
Yeah,
But for
we are.
others,
We
I
are.
will say that it's not a bad place to be.
Yeah. And something you also brought up is yourself. And it's really important, if you haven't done self discovery or become more self aware as a person, like that's super important. And I hope people take their 20s and even their 30s to do that, because that's what those years are for. Let's be honest. Like, you don't know what the heck you're doing yet, because I know I didn't.
No, you don't. And they go by fast. I will tell you that I just turned 40, so I can tell you they go by fast.
Yeah.
But even with that being said, while I feel like I do have a good sense of like self-awareness, I know there's still more for me to learn, and I'm always open to it. I'm always open for feedback, and I'm always like asking for it. I need it because I want to be better than I am, and I always do. So I think that's really important as well. Not that my advice is what you should always take. I will say that it is important to be open, to continue to learn in general, and to learn about yourself, and be open to other people's feedback for you, because nobody's perfect. And these are the things that make you better.
And is it Champagne Cruise? Was that what you were?
Is that his name? I don't know. Is that his name? Is that his name? That doesn't sound familiar.
That's what was shared.
That doesn't sound familiar, but it could
No.
be. He could be another one of them. He's
Okay.
always sitting at his computer, and if you're a millennial, he's in this. It's not a hoodie, it's the whole thing, the blanket that you put over you with the hood on it, a snuggie. He's always in the snuggie. And then, yes, and the millennial is just always in a. No, that's the millennial. Then there's what's the other generation? I don't remember
Gen
the
X?
other generation. Is it Gen X? Is that
before us?
Before us.
Yeah.
No, yeah, so there's a Gen Xer, yeah, but there's another one. What is it called? I cannot remember. But basically, if he gets an email and he doesn't like it, it's not let me respond to it. It's let me find a new job. Or he's just gone. It's very cool. It's so cool, but it's so accurate. Yes, a snuggie. It is a snuggie, but it's so accurate. Yes, but I'm in between there.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you figure out what it is, if it's not that the one that was
share
shared, put it in the comments so that we can all get sucked into Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll blame you.
As if we need more of that.
Yep.
Z, yes. Thank you, Kara.
Gen Z.
It's Gen Z,
But
yes.
that's
Gen
after
Z. I should
us,
know this better.
right? Gen Zs are after us. And then after Gen Z, it's whatever they're calling them. I don't even know.
I know there's like an alpha generation.
Let's call them alpha. Like they need like an ego boost. We are the alpha.
I don't know what the age is for that, what the years are for the alpha generation, but I know that my 3-year-old can work my tablet better than I can, and I'm pretty tech savvy. But I'm like, oh no, that's not where you go. She takes it from me, and then she just goes to where she needs to go. I don't know. Alpha might be appropriate. It might be appropriate for them.
Yeah. It's going to be weird. I don't even know what to expect in the next 10 years, because things have, like in the last year plus with AI and stuff, it has just gone bonkers. So I don't even know. Like what?
Look, I am an AI fan. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
You can't tell me anything about it. I think that is one of the things where you're going to either get with it and learn how to use it to your benefit, or you're going to get left behind because it's here. And I know that they're still figuring it out. And I definitely think that people have strong opinions on either side. And at first I was like, I don't know. There's this Will Smith movie that he made. I can't remember the name of anything anymore. I just turned 40. But there was a movie, iRobot. I think it was iRobot. Was it Robot? Yeah. I don't know. Yes. And that's what I thought of at first when I thought of AI. But now I think it's the best thing. I use it all the time. I do. Like I said, I'm very resourceful. I use it all the time. And I will not be stopping anytime soon.
Yeah. I guess I need to stop being so conspiracy theorist. Doomsday. Somebody else was bringing up. I had somebody talking about AI before. They actually work for a company that is AI based. That's what they do. And they were just talking about dystopian shows that are out there right now that talk about all this. And I'm like, yeah, that's basically what I'm assuming in 10 years. That's our future.
Yeah. Who knows? Who knows?
That's true. That's right. Let's just embrace it now. And then what happens in 10 years? Pandora's box is open. Like, it's already here. It's not going to go back in the box.
I know that there are a lot of platforms that we're using right now within property management that are incorporating AI in some form. So honestly, I don't know what's going to happen in the next 10 years, but it definitely looks promising. I will say that.
I hope so. I hope the wrong people don't get a hold of it. That's all
This
I'm
is
saying.
true. This is true.
But that's everything. And then it's going to create a whole industry of preventing those bad people. So there you go.
That's what happens.
That's what happens. Anyways. All right. So the last thing, and we've touched on this, that's all that we're talking about right now. Being resourceful, being adaptable. Like, you just have to do that. You have to know yourself, limitations.
Yes.
And then
absolutely
find an AI bot to fill in the gaps.
Yeah, I'm telling you, just have to use it the right way. That ChatGPT, you should be all over it, and you should be using the right prompts. If you don't understand something, if you're in a meeting and you hear a term that you've never heard before, you can throw it into Google, or you can throw it into ChatGPT, and you can say, explain this to me like I'm a fifth grader, or explain this to me like I'm 16 years old. And it can break it down for you. So you really have to know how to use the tech in order to embrace it. And there's training on that as well, which I will be jumping into, obviously.
Well, you'll have to teach me because I don't know anything. And I'm going to get left behind.
Resource.
Crystal, don't let me get left behind.
Let me be your resource. I will tell you. And look, I will say, honestly, knowing your limitations is important, right? Like, I'm not a science girl or anything like that, but knowing your limitations is important. But also having the resources. Like, if you have a question for me and maybe I can't answer it, I know who to go to get you your answer. Like, I know how to find that out for you. And I think that's important. So that's actually a very good point, Evan. Knowing your limitations.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can't adapt if you don't know where you're lacking, right? And you can't advance if you don't improve in those areas where you're not doing so well or whatever it is. So yeah, there's an importance to knowing where you're not great. And then as a leader, having people that are under your care, I was going to say under your, as if you're like a dictator, but no, under your care, that maybe fill in those gaps, that are talented. And
absolutely. It's important. As a leader, you should never want to be the smartest person in the room. It's just, you shouldn't.
Yeah. Because your company won't get any better than you.
No, absolutely. Your company, nothing gets better. That's a whole another hour to talk about that.
Yep. That's all really good. And I really appreciate you sharing your journey. I hope some people get some nuggets out of that. And now that I am caught up, because if you missed it, I'm caught up.
Yeah. I got it. We got it. Everybody's got a page.
Everybody's got a page. communityboss.com right here, /Boss Talks. Check them out. Crystal will be there, if not by Friday, by Monday. So check her page out, check out her podcast, her video, and just soak in all the wisdom that she just shared with us from her experience here in multifamily over the last 18 years, which is amazing.
Yes, very long time. Thank you so much for having me, Evan. I know this is a very special episode for you, so I appreciate you considering me.
Absolutely.
And to be your guest. And
50. Yeah, if everybody missed the balloons, she brought it.
Whenever you are selected for such a milestone, make sure you bring it. And
I love that.
Call her, because obviously.
Yes, obviously. Yeah. I need to work that into the show. I think I need to have a hype person in the beginning to bring the energy, and then we'll all be on a better footing when it comes to the rest of the show.
For sure.
Again, Crystal, thank you so much for being my guest today for episode 50. Yeah. Just like she jumped in, and so many of the people that are in the audience today, not everybody, which means if you are in the audience and you have not been on the show, you can be on the show. Like, I legit want you on the show. Am I lying, Crystal?
No, he wants you on the show. He
Thank
will
you.
sneak into your LinkedIn DM and he will get you on the show.
This is
So
true.
please join.
Yeah.
There's a group chat. If you are on the show, you get to be a part of this group chat. And when I tell you there are some like heavy hitters in this chat, you want to be a part of it. So,
Yeah.
but you have to be a guest.
Because I love everybody in this industry. I want to know people that are just starting, the leasing agent, the assistant manager, the property manager, the maintenance professional,
Right.
the regional, the VP, the CEO. I want all of it. I want to hear from everybody because we all have a story. We all have a journey that we're on, and we have a path to our success. And sometimes we're at the very beginning, and sometimes we're in the middle. I don't know if we're really at an end till it's over, but
yeah, it's a little bit down the road.
yeah, that's
But
down the road.
yeah.
But yeah, no, thank you so much for being here. And
Absolutely.
reach out to me if you want to be on. But until next week, this has been Boss Talks, episode 50. I'll see you same time, same place, channel, all the things next week, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 3 p.m. East Coast, where Crystal is. We'll see you then. Thanks so much, everybody.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Boss Talks podcast. If you would like to be a guest on the show, please reach out via email at info@communityboss.com. If you enjoyed the show, be sure to like, share, and follow us on your favorite podcast platform. You can also watch the podcast live every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on the Community Boss LinkedIn or Facebook pages. Until next time, manage like a boss.